Well, hey, folks, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be with us today on the Transplant Helper podcast / YouTube video series. My name is Jim Merle, and I'm very blessed to be a 2013 heart transplant recipient. And so I come to you today, like with every video, reminding you that I'm not a medical doctor. I have no medical degrees. I'm simply coming to you, offering you advice of someone who's been there and currently doing that. Today we're going to be talking about exercise / rehabilitation management, and that's because I believe that your exercise program post-transplant is going to have a lot to do with not only how quickly you recover, but especially how fully you recover from your transplant. It makes no difference whether you're a heart, lung, liver, kidney, pancreas, whatever organ it is. If you're willing to exercise and get your body back in the best shape possible, you're going to be much better off in the end of things. Not only the benefits that come from having strength and energy and blood flow, all that in the healing process, but exercise helps to build your immune system, which we're going to talk about on another day, the immune system and fighting infection. But it helps you in so many ways, and there's plenty of things you can watch on the internet about that besides sitting and watching me, so we're not going to discuss that. But I'm going to give you 4 tips today that hopefully can help you, whether you're in that organized exercise / rehab program that the doctors put you in, or maybe you've gotten to the point where you've moved on through that and now you're just trying to keep yourself motivated to continue in some sort of a program kind of on your own or in your own little world, in your own mind. And hopefully these tips will help you, and I'll name them to you as we go. Number 1, I want you to first of all be proactive in your exercise, okay? Be proactive. What I mean by that is you've got to take charge. You cannot rely upon anyone. You can't rely on your spouse. You can't rely on your children. You can't rely on your neighbors. And you certainly cannot rely on your transplant facility or rehab facilities to motivate you to get well or to motivate you to recover. Because even though they want to do that, they're not going to necessarily know how or have the ability. If you don't have it inside of yourself to make the best recovery that you can, you're simply not going to do it. They can put you, for example, in the rehab centers, they can place you on the treadmill and they can require that you walk a certain distance, or require that your heart rate reach a certain level, or require this or that of you, and it makes no difference. If inside you, deep down in your heart, you're not willing to push yourself forward and to make yourself recover, you're not going to recover. So number 1, be proactive. Number 2, be persistent. And that is whatever is required of you by the facility in the beginning or in your own mind in the end, be persistent and do it. If you had the ability, for example, like I did when I came out of the hospital, I could already walk 2 and 3 miles at a time without a lot of problem. That was indoors, by the way, and that's another side tip I want to give you. If it's hot outside, go back indoors and walk. If it's cold outside, go indoors and walk. You'll be much safer. Avoid the elements. But, I already had the ability to walk 2 or 3 miles. So what was the use in going down to the rehab center? And like they required me, I think on the first day, they said, Jim, I want you to get on the treadmill with this heart monitor on, and I want you to walk for 6 minutes. I had to be persistent and say, you know what, lady, I can walk a lot more than 6 minutes. I can walk a lot longer than that, a lot further than that. And I needed to keep up the pace I'd already gained. I could have easily said, you know what, this is laughable, but I've walked 2 and 3 miles before, but she doesn't know that. So let's walk 6 minutes and I'll go to the house. No, I've got to be persistent. You got to keep up your own exercise program. By the same measure, once you come out of those organized programs and you're on your own, don't think, well, I've graduated. I've even got a certificate here in my drawer somewhere down here that says I graduated from cardiac rehab. Don't think you're done. Continue to keep on keeping on. Continue to press forward and to make sure your recovery is a lifelong recovery. Just take advantage of the things that you learn while you're in those organized programs and be persistent with that. And I won't belabor that point anymore because you get it. Be proactive. Be persistent. Number 3, be pliable. What I mean by being pliable is understand that you're going to have good days and bad days. And understand that on those bad days when you don't feel like exercising, that even though you need to kind of push yourself and even though you need to kind of press on to try to do something, understand that on the bad days, you're just going to have to accept the bad days. You're going to have to take in the fact that, yes, I'm not going to be able to walk those miles every day. Some days, maybe it's because I overdid it the day before. Some days it's because I'm sick with something else, something outside. Maybe one of those infections is hit. I just need to take that break. I need that rest. But be pliable. Understand that because that bad day came, maybe the good day's coming in a week or so, and you can do a little more, do a little extra. Be flexible with your program. Be flexible with your exercise. Maybe you wake up in the morning and it's your routine to walk around the block in your neighborhood, and you wake up and it's raining. Then just decide, okay, I still need to exercise. I still need to go ahead and walk. I've just got to find a way to do it. Maybe you can do that inside of your home or inside of wherever you live. Maybe you need to get someone to help you, or maybe you can drive yourself. Go down to the local mall. Go, as I did, go back over to the hospital. I lived near the hospital at that time. Go back over to the hospital. Walk in those hospital halls. That's a great place to walk around. There are doctors and nurses everywhere if something goes wrong. Find a way to adjust, find a way to adapt, and to be flexible or pliable so that you can continue your exercise program. So be proactive, yes, in that sense. Be persistent, yes, and be pliable. But here's the fourth one. Be productive. Be productive. If you're going to be in the middle of an exercise/rehab program anyway, why would you want to just get back to where you were, say, a month before transplant? Why do you want to get back to where you were a year before transplant? Why not be better than that? I can remember this, for example. Prior to my transplant, I could walk around the halls, believe it or not, even as a heart transplant patient or one in need of transplant at that point. I can remember being able to walk around the halls of my unit, walk a mile or two a day. When I came out of the hospital, what did I need to do? That I need to say, well, I could walk 2 miles pre-transplant, so if post-transplant I can get up to 2 miles, I'll be satisfied and I'll be done. No, I needed to do better than that. I need to be productive. If you're going to be in some kind of an organized rehab program especially, and you're going to have to go down to that gym with those people pushing you and pressing you and working with you and training you 2 or 3 times a week for weeks and weeks on end, why not just take advantage? Why not say, hey, while I'm here, I'm going to pick up a little bit extra. I'm going to get to where I can walk faster or walk more. Or if they're putting you on some of those machines, and especially if you're a guy and they're making you lift weights, don't sit there and lift 2 pounds when you can lift 10. Gain something out of that. You're there anyway. The same is the case once you graduate or once you complete those programs. Just be productive. Make sure that if you're going to eat right and exercise right and you're going to live right, make sure that that's for some purpose, for some reason. And in this case, speaking of transplants, that it all has to do with your recovery. Not only how quickly it occurs, but how complete it is in the end. Now, I've got many more things to say about your exercise, and we'll have many more programs concerning exercise, but these are just the 4 tips I want to give you today. Let me reiterate them for you. Number 1, be proactive. Number 2, be persistent. Number 3, be pliable. And number 4, be productive. I thank you for joining us on the Transplant Helper. I'm going to link some videos here up in the corners and down below in the show notes that you can look at that hopefully will help you. If you would, please subscribe. We need subscribers to this channel. If you can share or like these videos, that helps an awful lot. If you've got family members or friends or whatever that are facing transplant, please let them know about this channel. Hopefully we can help them in some small way. And especially I want to thank you for your viewing and your listening today. My name is Jim Merle, and I am the Transplant Helper.